The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions. Excuse me. Of the past, present, and future, and presented by Sports Simulations and Replays, the best group on Facebook to post your projects, whether it is cards and dice, PC, console, whatever. Sports Simulations and Replays is your place to go on Facebook to post your project. We need 17 members to get to 1,000. 983 of your friends have joined. It's time for you to join. The month of August ends on an absolutely hot note. The Atlanta Braves fighting for survival in the National League West. The Philadelphia Phillies 7 back in the National League East. The Phillies needed a big win, and they started off hot. Mike Schmidt, a home run in the first, his 41st of the year, paired with a Gary Matthews sac fly, made it 2-0 Philadelphia in the first. Philadelphia thought they had an insurmountable lead in the third inning. Bo Diaz singled home Manny Trio. George Vukovich brought home Gary Matthews to make it 4-0 in the third. Then back came the Braves in the fifth. After failing to score with the bases loaded in the fourth, Dale Murphy, a two-run double in the fifth, 4-2 Philadelphia. A big insurance run in the bottom of the fifth. Ivan De Jesus singled to score Mike Schmidt, 5-2 Phillies. And then back came the Braves. 7 came to the plate for Atlanta in the top of the seventh. Claudell Washington doubled home Rafael Ramirez to make it 5-3. Then Chris Chambliss singled home Dale Murphy, 5-4. In the eighth, the Braves tied it. A Rafael Ramirez single scored Brett Butler to make it 5-5. And in the ninth, the Braves thought they had it locked up. Chris Chambliss, a two-run shot, 7-5 Braves. But back come the Phils. Luis Aguayo scored double to score Maddox to make it 7-6. A sac fly from Pete Rose tied it. Manny Trio wins it on an RBI single. The lead is 6 in the East as Philadelphia starts September 6 back, 79-53, following an 8-7 win. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Baseball Lunch Replay, hit the right button, 1982. Tonight, from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, it's the Philadelphia Phillies and Atlanta Braves. Mike Krukow against Rick Camp on a 78-degree night. Come on. In the city of brotherly love. Why, good afternoon. I'm Ron Chuckett. Welcome to the program. And so we have 3 games for you this week, as we do every week. Today, it's Philadelphia and Atlanta. Thursday at lunch, it's California and Detroit. And then Saturday night, we'll have a wild card game for you, which I haven't figured out which. But it'll be what I think is the most entertaining matchup, either from the day or Friday or night or Saturday afternoon. So here we go. 399 games left in the Major League Baseball season. We've gone through 5 months. We have precisely 33 days left. And one race, the American League East, is tight. It's a 1-game run between Baltimore and Detroit, with Milwaukee lurking. In the American League West, California has a 5-game bulge. We'll show you the standings. But here in the National League, it's pretty much all decided. Los Angeles with a 17.5 game lead over Atlanta. But Philadelphia is keeping it interesting against Montreal. If the Phillies can keep winning these games, they might give the Expos a scare down the stretch. And so that's where we are. It's Mike Krukow looking for his 15th win, and Rick Camp looking to keep the Braves afloat. And we say hello to Dave Gardner, who's looking for the Mets. No, I'm not going to sing 399 bottles of beer on the wall. I don't think I've sang that song since the 4th grade. Anyway, so you can see what we got going on here. A beautiful 78-degree night. Not a breath of wind. You can smell that carpet a mile away. It really needs some Love My Carpet. And so here we go. Here are the specifics. The Padres and the Mets have been eliminated. San Francisco and Houston could be eliminated by the end of play on Thursday. The Dodgers' magic number as we start September is 13. The Braves have lost 3 straight. It really doesn't matter what the Braves do now. The Dodgers are cruising right along. Montreal, however, has won 5 straight, and Philadelphia has won 6. How frustrating is it for the Phillies to have won 9 of 10 and essentially gained no ground? They are 40 and 24 here at the vet, 39 and 29 on the road. And we know that the National League East winner will host games 1 and 2 of that championship series, and the American League West winner, we're looking at you, California, would host games 1 and 2 of the American League Championship Series. The NL West and AL East winners, and they're going to presume that the West is going to win, that the Dodgers will win the West, unless you have a choke the size of Moby Dick, would host games 3, 4, and 5. So those are the standings for you. Toronto still has a shot in the American League. We'll talk about them on Thursday when we do California and Detroit. Here, Mike Krukow looking for win number 15. This is start 28 for him. He is 14 and 9 with an ERA of 2.94, and his last start on August 28th was a 8-inning win over the Reds. Against Cincinnati, 6 hits, a run it was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3. In over 190 innings, he's thrown allowed 174 hits, only 3 homers. Imagine that. 68 runs, 62 earned. He walked 67, struck out 113. And here's the lineup he'll face. Jerry Royster will lead us off. He'll play left field. Rafael Ramirez will play second and bat short. Claudell Washington, the right fielder, will hit third. Dale Murphy cleans up in center. Bob Horner will play third and bat fifth. Chris Chambliss, who thought he won the game last night, will play first and bat sixth. Glenn Hubbard hits seventh and bat second. Matt Sinatro, Frank's cousin from another mother, will catch and bat eighth. And Rick Camp will bat ninth. Defensively for the Phillies, Gary Matthews is a 5 and a 6 in left. Gary Maddox is a 10 and a 6 in center. George Vukovic, a 5 and a 7 in left. Mike Schmidt, a 10 at third. Avante Jesus, a 6 at short. Manny Trio, a 10 at second. Pete Rose, a 6 at first. And Bo Diaz, a 9 and a 4 behind the plate. How you doing, Sports Time Machine? Oh, Mark, good to have you along. Thanks for the kind words. That's true. The Mets were eliminated in spring training most years. We would pay for that dearly, though, in 1986. Yep, that was you're right, Sports Time Machine. How are you? Oh, Baseball Memos. Sports Time Machine, hello. This Mark Russell does not play the piano. The other one did. Royster at 279. No homers and 13 RBI. Krukow delivers, and there's a fly ball to right. Vukovic, 1 out. And that's how this one starts. So even though we're doing a National League game tonight or today, we're not guaranteeing any more NL games unless we hit clinchers. Now, the Phillies continue to make progress against the Expos. We'll get some of those in, but we're going to focus the last month or so of the season on races that actually exist. Ramirez at 253, 11 homers, how about that, and 47 RBI. Krukow deals. He bunts that one foul behind the plate, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. So imagine that Philadelphia has won 9 of 10 and maybe gained a half a game, or game and a half, I think. How frustrating is that? Pitch to Ramirez, and there's a liner in the right center field. Maddox gets it off the wall, and Ramirez is in with a stand-up double. So for the Braves, until they're eliminated, every game is a must-win. This team needs to get white hot. Claudell Washington at 273, 20 homers and 63 RBI. Krukow deals. Ground ball to second. Trio to Rose for the out. So Ramirez moves to third. 2 out for Dale Murphy. 279, 27 homers, 93 RBI. Fantastic year. And certainly has set up the Braves for a decent run in 1983. Krukow deals. Murphy lines one to Schmidt, who stops and makes a running catch, and that retires the side. No runs, one hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the first. Braves, nothing. Here come the Phils. So Rick Camp has pitched above his pay grade. He is 8-5 with a 3.11 ERA. This is his 14th start of the year. His last one, a complete game shutout of the New York Mets on the 28th. 9 innings, 4 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 5. He lost to the Phils in Atlanta on the 23rd. He gave up 13 hits in 8 innings that night. So overall on the year, 124 in the third innings, 132 hits, 10 homers, 59 runs, but only 43 earned. 30 walks, and 54 strikeouts. And here's the lineup that he will face. Pete Rose, of course, leads off for the Phils. Manny Trio bats second. Gary Matthews, the left fielder, bats third. Mike Schmidt cleans up at third. Bo Diaz will bat fifth behind the plate. Gary Maddox, the center fielder, goes sixth. George Vukovich bats seventh and plays right. De Jesus, the shortstop, will go eighth. Then Mike Krukow, who threw 11 pitches in the top of the first, will bat ninth. Jerry Royster, a 3 and a 5 in left. Dale Murphy, a 10 and a 4 in center, good buddy. And Claudel Washington, a 4 and an 8 in right. Bob Horner, a 3 at third. Rafael Ramirez, a 9 at short. Glenn Hubbard, an 8 at second. Chris Chambliss, a 7 at third. And Sinatro, strangers behind the plate, 2 and a 3. So Rose at 294, 4 homers and 47 RBI. Camp's pitch, and Rose dribbles out one to Chambliss, flips it to Camp, covering one away. So 78 degrees, not a breath of wind here in Philadelphia. Manny Trio at 253, 37 RBI. It's a boot camp. Ha! Yes, exactly. And baseball demos in his punnery on his Manic Mondays at noon on his channel, Baseball Demos. Pitch to Trio, and there's a fly ball shallow center. Murphy comes in, rides the horse, and 2 out. For Gary Matthews, who does not have a band, his brother Dave, however, can sing. 287, 16 homers, and 61 RBI. Camp deals. Fly ball left field. Royster is there, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We played 1 in Philadelphia. Atlanta, nothing. The Phillies, nothing. So it'll be Bob Horner, Chris Chambliss, and Glenn Hubbard for the Braves in the second. Horner, 31 homers, 258 average, 89 RBI. Pine Tar baseball for Manic Monday. Never thought that would happen. So there's still hope that Susanna Hoffs may come knock on your... You're walking down your street and walking like an Egyptian then, eh? Pitch to Horner. Ground ball to Rose. Takes it to the bag himself, 1 away. I saw a picture of Susanna Hoffs. She's 60 now. Then again, we're all 30 years older. And yes, as Al would say, dateable. Chris Chambliss at 278, 12 homers and 57 RBI. Krukow deals, and there's a liner up the middle. That's going to be for 2. Chambliss is in there. So he slid in there. Maddox had a decent throw, but Chambliss was in there all the way. For Glenn Hubbard, who has had a yeoman's effort this year, 281, 7 homers and 48 RBI. She would if she knew what she wants. Yes, well, you know. I'm not touching that one. That's what she said, especially to Dave. Pitch to Hubbard. Bunts it foul. The count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Krukow, 113 strikeouts on the year, only 138 in 208 innings. Pitch to contact pitcher. Here we go. Got him. So I say he's not a strikeout pitcher, and Hubbard chases a 1-2 pitch for strike 3. 2 out for Sinatra at 167, 1 homer, had 4 RBI. She did age well. Yes. Yep. That or her Beverly Hills doctor gets paid awful well. One of the two. Kruko delivers. Got him! An 0-2 pitch below the belt, and that will take care of the side. Got him looking. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Inning and a half in the books. Atlanta nothing. Philadelphia nothing. So it'll be Schmidt, Diaz, and Maddox for the Phils. Michael Jack is having himself an MVP year. 323, the average, 41 homers, and 106 RBI. Camp's pitch. And there's a ground ball to Horner over to Chambliss, 1 out. Bo Diaz at 283, 12 homers and 68 RBI. So the Phils, we won't know today because the other game we're doing midweek is a Wednesday game. Trying to keep pace. They need 2 more wins on the year to have a winning season. Game 133 for them, 133 for the Braves. Pitch to Diaz, and there's a liner up the middle past Hubbard, and the Phillies have their first hit. Brings up Gary Maddox at 288. 11 homers, 45 RBI. You know, that sounds like a bakery. I should go over to Gubaza's and get myself a cannoli. Pitch to Maddox. Gets away from Sinatra, and Diaz moves to second on the wild pitch. Camp deals. Maddox, left center. Back goes Royster. He'll make the catch. Diaz will tag and run on Royster. The throw into Horner is not in time. Diaz overslides the bag and has to reach back to get it. But he does, and there's 2 out and a runner on third for George Vukovic, 233. 2 homers and 26 RBI. So Camp, 2 out. Ground ball to first. Chambliss to the bag himself, makes the play, and the side is retired. After 2, Atlanta nothing, Philadelphia nothing. Yeah, I hope he's okay too. I haven't seen him. Rick Camp is 1 for 25 on the year. That's an 0.40 batting average. And if you want to know what 4% of 25 is, it's 1. And there's your math tip of the day. Kruko, the start to third. Got him! 0-2 fastball, strike 3 called. So after saying that Kruko doesn't strike out many batters, well, game is trying to spite me. Darn it. Through 9 batters, Kruko has thrown 2 1/3 innings. 32 pitches, 2 hits, and 3 strikeouts. Royster is 0 for 1. I didn't say you had to do math. This is where I'd hit the button and you'd see the NBC Peacock and the More You Know logo, right? Sometimes that's how you learn math, is through sports stats. Pitch to Royster, ball 4. And so Royster's on with a 1-out walk. First walk by Kruko, and that brings up Ramirez, who doubled the center in the first. Throw to first, Royster is back, but he's going to steal at 93%, I'm sure. Pitch out, runner goes, throw down by Diaz. The trio is in time. Ho, ho, ho. Don't know what the odds are reduced to on the pitch out, but it worked. And so there's 2 out, nobody on for Rafael Ramirez. Ow, Kruko deals. Liner to center, it's going to drop in front. And so that caught stealing looms large because that would have been a run. Brings up Claudell Washington, who's 0 for 1. Throw to first. Ramirez is back. So Philadelphia doing what they can to keep the Atlanta running game ground to a halt. Here's the pitch. Washington, number to Schmidt. Long throw to Rose. Claudell's got wheels, and he's out. So a bang-banger 5-3 on the card, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2.5 down, Atlanta nothing, Philadelphia nothing. Yeah, Baseball Demo says, I've heard that some of you use strat cards to teach percentages. And that's a good point, because with everything if with a 20-sided die or the 20 split cards, depending on how old you are. Hello, Clinton. You know, a 1 in 20 is a 5% chance. And so that's an easy one to teach. What do I do with pickoffs? Well, you know, if I know that there's going to be like a 70% chance of a stolen base, you throw it over. But I don't know what I do special. You just kind of figure they're just kind of leaning the wrong way and it's easier to pick off. Or that they had good moves. De Jesus is at 248, a homer. He's got 11 triples on the year and 49 RBI. Camp delivers, and there's a fly ball to left center. Murphy's there, 1 out. Mike Krukow at 193, no homers and 4 RBI. Camp's pitch, ground ball up the middle, base hit. So Krukow has a single, and that's the second hit for Philadelphia, and he's not going anywhere. So Rick Camp has pitched well, 2 1/3 innings, 28 pitches to 9 batters, 2 hits and nothing else. Pete Rose is 0 for 1. Pitch from Camp, and Rose to the corner and right. That's going to be off the wall. Krukow will hold. Rose is on with a double, and there's 2 on and 1 out for Manny Trio, who's 0 for 1. So the Phillies in business here. That's the 3rd hit. Pitch to Trio. Ground ball up the middle. Ramirez will throw to first. Krukow scores from 3rd, and the Phillies draw first blood 1-0. As Rose holds at 2nd. So 2 out. So it got the job done. Krukow scores. And that brings up Gary Matthews, who's 0 for 1. So the caught stealing by Royster looms extra large now because Atlanta would have had a run. Pitch from Camp, grounder up the middle, Ramirez over to Chambliss. Ramirez by the bag at 2nd, flings it to 1st, and that will retire the side. But the Phillies break on through to the scoreboard on a run on 2 hits, no errors. After 3, Philadelphia 1, Atlanta nothing. It'll be Dale Murphy, Bob Horner, Chris Chambliss, and no bad Skip Carey impressions. Yeah, Rose is ancient. He's 77, 78 years old? He's always been kind of bitter. Murph is 0 for 1. Pitch from Krukow struck him out. So Murphy goes down by way of the K. He swung on and missed a 1-2 fastball. Brings up Bob Horner, who's 0 for 1. Pitch to Horner. Ground ball to De Jesus in the hole over to Rose for the out. Then again, you know, if you've been treated the way that Pete's been treated, you could understand why he's surly. Now, he's brought a lot of that upon himself. I mean, he really should have, if he had been contrite at any point before writing a book about it, they probably would have lifted the ban and he would have had a nice cushy roll with the Reds. Chambliss is 1 for 2 with a double. So, really, it's still on Pete. Krukow's pitch. Chambliss lines that one up the middle for a single. Maddox throws it back in a hurry, and that's the 4th Atlanta hit. Glenn Hubbard is 0 for 1. I'm a lifelong Reds fan, Steve P says. I don't feel sorry for Pete one bit. He lied and lied and lied and lied. Absolutely. If he told the truth and said he had a gambling addiction, it would be over, without question. I think Bud Selig would have, if he had admitted it at any point in the 90s. You remember that ceremony, as Hubbard, by the way, is 0 for 1 with a strikeout, where they did the all-century team? That would have been the ideal place to have let Rose back into baseball's good graces. And it would have been a great moment for the game. Atlanta won the real game 4-0, by the way. Dale Murphy. Dale Murphy's not had a bad year. I think Schmidt just had the better year. I think Murphy will match his homer and RBI total when we're all said and done. The average isn't as high, but yep, Steve's right. So only when the book came out. Pitch to Hubbard, and there's a liner right back to Krukow. Looky what I caught, Mom. No runs, a hit, no errors. 3.5 in the books. Philadelphia 1, Atlanta nothing. So here's Schmidt. 0 for 1 as the lawnmower starts behind me. I mean, you look at Schmidt's numbers, and those are MVP numbers. Remember, we have 28 games to go after this for both teams. Schmidt, fly ball to the left. Royster back in the corner, makes the catch for the first out. Bo Diaz, he singled, 1 for 1. He's had a magnificent year. Camp's pitch, ground ball to Horner, over to Chambliss. Diaz has got to move, and that gets away from Chambliss. And so Horner's throw goes in the dirt. Chambliss scooped it, but is off the bag. It goes on the card as an E5, and Diaz is on first with 1 out from Gary Maddox. We go for 1. Yeah, to continue on Rose. First, he said he'd been on sports but not baseball. Then it was baseball but not the Reds. Then evidence showed he bet the Reds and bet as a manager and player. And that's the thing, for me anyway. If you are with a team and you bet on your team, it's always fun. I always bet on the Reds to win. Okay, so what happens the nights you don't bet? What does that tell the people handling your bets? That they expect you to lose. Plus, he manipulated arms to help win bets, and that's just not okay. That's different from a steroid, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. Maddox is 0 for 1, popped up left side. Horner and Ramirez converge, and Horner's got it, 2 away. George Vukovic is 0 for 1. I can't wait to see the comments later on. Rob Murphy's a good example of that, Steve. And I'm sure some starters got it overworked too. Camp's pitch, ball 4. So Diaz on second, Vukovic on first for DeJesus, who's 0 for 1. Camp has pitched well. It's only a 1-0 game. 2 out. And DeJesus, ground ball to second. Hubbard from his knees in the hole throws to Chambliss to retire the side. What a play by Glenn Hubbard. No runs, no hits, and 1 error. It does not hurt. After 4, Philadelphia 1, Atlanta nothing. Yeah, Soto. Absolutely. How you doing, Johnny Smoke? Good to have you along on this Tuesday afternoon. California, Detroit, Thursday. Sinatro is 0 for 1. He struck out. 1 of 4 by Krukow in this game. The pitch. Got him. That's number 5 for Krukow. Just below the belt for strike 3 on a full count. So Krukow, doing his best Max Scherzer impression, stalks around the mound, and here's Rick Camp. He's 0 for 1. You might get Nugent sighting tomorrow. If you look up the game from September 1st, 1982, that's what we're doing. You can tell me. Pitch to Camp. Ground ball to Rose. Takes it to the bag himself, and that's 2 out. So through 18 batters in a lawnmower, which is interesting since we're on the turf, Mike Krukow has thrown 67 pitches, 4 2/3 innings, 4 hits, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Brings up Jerry Royster, who's walked and 0 for 1. Pitch from Krukow. Royster squares, gets it down. Krukow fields it over to Trio covering, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Halfway home, Philadelphia 1, Atlanta nothing. What the hell? Let me redo that. What the hell? Well, I guess you get no in-game box score. I've tried to put it up once and it was in teeny tiny print. So we can tell you, though, it's 1-0. That run came in the third, and it was Mike Krukow who singled and scored. So he's 1 for 1. I've never seen that glitch before. I'm still going to take a drink. Wilcox in force, but there will be a Mike Laga signing. Could be a vacuum instead of a mower. That is true. And I suppose it really wouldn't matter if you vacuum in the middle of the game. If you remember, let me take my drink first here. When the Astros installed the turf for the '66 season, when they cleaned it up, they brought out people dressed in spacesuits to clean up the AstroTurf. You know, you see, if you had done it right, you would have brought out Barbara Billingsley in her heels and pearls to do it, and Ward could have sat on the mound with his pipe and slippers. Krukow singled and scored. He's 1 for 1. Pitch from Camp. Ground ball to Chambliss. Takes it to bang himself on the way. Future MVP Mike Laga, according to Sparky Anderson. Yep. May the force be with you. Oh, and so it smells like fresh cut grass in here. Oh, boy. The wifey's going to be so happy with all those allergens running around. I'm going to have a sleepy boy tonight. Pete Rose is 1 for 2 with a double. So Camp threw 18 batters, 58 pitches. He's pitched well. 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, and a walk. And Rose is 1 for 2 with a double. Yep. On grass fields, they drag the dirt. On the turf, they cut the rug. Yeah. He's here all the week. Please try the veal. Pitch from Camp. Rose, base hit right center. Washington cuts it off. And Rose is on with a single. 4th hit for both teams. Well, both teams have 4 hits. Hey, Trio has an RBI. He's 0 for 2. And shag fly balls. Yep. Pitch from Camp. Trio. Ground ball to Ramirez. Might be 2. Over to Chambliss for the out. And Rose moves on to second. 2 out for Matthews. He's 0 for 2. So Camp has done his job. He's just not getting any offense. Ramirez, Washington, and Murphy for Atlanta in the 6th, with Horner to bat if someone reaches. Pitch from Camp. Strikeout. Matthews looks at strike 3 on a 2-2 pitch. No runs, a hit, and no errors. After 5, it's a pitcher's duel. Philadelphia 1, Atlanta nothing. That's true. Milk did throw the splitter with Roger Craig as Sparky's pitching coach. I forget what year he went to San Francisco. Craig, that is. It certainly wasn't 82. Rafael Ramirez has doubled and singled. He's 2 for 2. Pitch from Krukow. Chopper up the middle. Trio behind the bag over to Rose for the out. Trio was an AL All-Star starter in 83 with Cleveland. That's right. So he was not part of the Wheeze kids. Claudel Washington is 0 for 2. Krukow deals. Right back to Mike. Over to Rose for the out. 2 away. So Krukow and Camp are cruising right along. Dale Murphy, 0 for 2. So who was it asked about stats? He needs 9 homers and 16 RBI to match his real-life numbers. He's going to come close to that. I bet he gets a 16 RBI. Batting average is only 3 points off. OPS is about 40. But since we do as played and we're into September and the Braves are in a race all the way, he's going to get his opportunities. He has 91 more at-bats at a minimum. Pitch from Krukow. Up the middle, DeJesus behind the dirt at second. Over to Rose to retire the side. What a play by Yvonne. No runs, no hits, no errors. 5.5 down. Philadelphia 1, Atlanta nothing. So Schmidt, Diaz, and Maddox. Schmidt 0 for 2. Ah, okay. Thank you for whoever allowed that link for Johnny. I do appreciate it. Morgan was with the Weeds kids. Yep. Pitch to Schmidt. And that's in their left center field for a base hit. It'll be held for a single. And so Schmidt has a hit. That's 5 for the Phils. Here's Bo Diaz. He's got a single at 1 for 2. Pitch from Camp. Ground ball to Hubbard. Takes it to second for 1. Over to Chambliss. And they do not turn it. So Diaz beat it out. It's a fielder's choice for you. No, really, that's what goes on the card. For you. Gary Maddox is 0 for 2. So runner on first, 1 out, bottom of the 6th. Pitch from Camp. And Maddox slashes out one into right field. Gonna drop in front of Washington. Diaz motors to third. And the Phillies have runners in the corners for Vukovich, who was 0 for 1 with a walk. Yeah, Morgan, Rose, Perez was on that 83 team. Carlton was no spring chicken. Was McGraw still there? I mean, it really was an older team. And it was Charlie Hudson that saved their bacon in the LCS. And you knew that team was just old. And they ran into Rick Dempsey and a buzzsaw that was the Baltimore Orioles. Pitch to Vukovich. That's a base hit up the middle. That's going to get past Hubbard. Diaz will score. Maddox will hold at second. 1 out. Now bring up to Jesus, who's going to try to bunt his way on with a hit. Shh. Don't tell Camp. One is down. It's a good one. Sinatra throw to Hubbard. De Jesus is out, but he moves the runners along for Krukow. Maddox on third. Vukovich on second. He almost had it beat out. A good play by Sinatra to get the speedy De Jesus. So 2 out. I mean, you look at the strategy and say, well, why would you do that? If he beats it out, there's still only 1 out. Krukow 1 for 2. Ground ball to third. Horner over to Chambliss, and that will retire the side. So it backfired. After 6, a run on 3 hits and no errors. Philadelphia 2, Atlanta nothing. They had 1 player under 30 in their starting lineup, and that's Vaughn Hayes. Yep. Well, Johnny, that was the case for a lot of the country. Up here in Vermont especially, you could not get the Red Sox every day back in the mid-'80s. Eventually you could. So, but you could get every Braves game. I think Earl, Mike, was pretty much done. I mean, I think on paper, as we go through this last month, that Baltimore will win the division. I think they'll hold them off. But, yeah, I think maybe they got to the World Series because Earl wasn't there. If you remember his World Series record, he went to 4 and only won in 70. He lost in 69. They were up 3-1 in 71 and lost, and they were up 3-1 in 79 and lost. Horner's 0 for 2. Little liner up the middle. Maddox dives and makes a fantastic diving sliding catch and robs Bob Horner of at least a single. And he kicks the bag as he goes back to the dugout. And Chambliss is 2 for 2, single and a double. Krukow deals, and there's a ground ball to Schmidt. Long throw to Rose. Chambliss is running, and they got him by an eyelash. So a slow dribbler, and Schmidt with a good arm gets him 2 out here in the top of the 7th. Glenn Hubbard is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And Krukow is probably looking at a CG here, unless things get funky. And there's a liner to Schmidt. And so it's time to stretch here at the vet. After 6.5, no runs, no hits, no errors for the Braves. It's Philadelphia 2, Atlanta 1. How you doing, Terry? Go Phils. Yep, Bobby Cox. Earl was Bobby Cox before Bobby Cox. Yeah, I think Earl. Oh, by the way, let me do the ad, will you? And then we'll talk about that. Hey, if you're enjoying this and you have wondered what you should do, I mean, obviously, there's no obligation ever. We do these games for your enjoyment. But if you like what I do, or if there's something specific you want to see, actually, we'll be taping something tonight that you'll see over the weekend for somebody. I'm excited about that. Consider a tip in my Patreon account, patreon.com/retrosportsnetwork. For $10, you get any game, any season in Action PC, regardless of the sport. So patreon.com, or just a regular monthly pledge. You could pledge as little as $1. And I would greatly appreciate it. And never, ever, ever feel obligated. But I do appreciate all the likes and comments and subscriptions and all that. So patreon.com/retrosportsnetwork. And I'm not going to get into what we're doing when I'm taping tonight, but you'll see it over the weekend. And I think it's a pretty cool idea, to be honest. All right, it'll be Rose, Trio, and Matthews to face Camp here in the bottom of the 7th. Pete is 2 for 3 with a double. Let's see. Yeah, I did the game for baseball demos. You know what? They got over 100 views for me to bitch and moan about Bob Stanley for 45 minutes. All right, Steve P. Thanks for going back to work. All right, we'll catch you later. So thanks a bunch. Yeah, I think Earl tried to overmanage. I think that's what happened to Joe Madden in that World Series in 2016, and it worked anyway. Pressure is an incredible thing. And I think because Earl was ahead of his time as far as what he could get out of his players. I mean, let's face it, Baltimore's bullpen wasn't all that great. But, I think you can't overmanage. I think that's what Earl did. Pitch to Rose is a little looper that's going to get down in front of Royster and left, and Pete's on with a single. So that's the third hit for him. I now bring up Manny Trio, who's 0 for 3 with an RBI. And yeah, Bob Stanley was an all-star in '83. Was also, twice top 10 Cy Young in 78 and 80 out of the pen. Actually, 80, I think he was a Swiss Army knife pitcher. Pitch to Trio. Ground ball to Ramirez. Hubbard for 1. They'll never get Trio. In fact, they won't even get Rose as the throw goes into right field. And so Raphael gets the air. E6. And the Phillies are in business. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. Gary Matthews is 0 for 3. So Rose on second as Ramirez has flipped to Hubbard. Got away from Hubbard. And Matthews strikes out. Camp bears down and got him on a 1-2 pitch curve on his 99th throw of the game. I don't think I went through it. So through 30 batters, 99 pitches for Camp, 6 1/3 innings. I'm so used to Rick being a reliever. 8 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Here's Schmidt, 1 for 3. Mike looking for his 42nd home run of the year. And Sinatro and Camp try to get on the same page. Here's the pitch. Got him! It works! A 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. So 2 out for Diaz, who was 1 for 3. He has singled and scored a run. Earl was a master of the platoon. Renicky and Lowenstein had a great combined production. And yeah, Johnny's right. They did. But it is possible to overcomplicate things. And I think, just putting it out there, I mean, those of you who grew up Baltimore fans might think I'm full of poo-poo. That's just my guess. He got hyped up. I mean, for all of Billy Martin's success, pitch to Diaz. There's a ladder to Hubbard, and he makes that catch. So no runs, 1 hit, and the error doesn't hurt. 7 down, Philadelphia 2, Atlanta nothing. If you want to talk about Billy Martin, as Sinatro probably a pinch hitter, and Royster bat for Atlanta here in the 8th. He never really won any clinching games. The Yankees, of course, went to a number of World Series and postseasons, but usually with someone else at the helm. Martin got him the World Series win in 77. He took him in 76. They got swept. And to be fair to the Yankees, Cincinnati would beat even the 27 Yankees that year. But he was let go in 78, and they won the World Series. It was Dick Hauser who won the pennant in 80, and Bob Lemon who took him to the World Series in 81. And so for all of Martin's tricks and trades and getting everything he could out of players, the pressure just kind of got to him. And they couldn't perform when it mattered. Sinatra's 0 for 2. Ground ball up the middle. Trio behind the bag over to Rose for the out. Demo says Earl overplayed Joe Nolan and underplayed Dempsey. I'm sure. Oh, no, wait. Hold on. The throw was high. And it goes into the stands. And so the Braves catch a break. That should have been signed, sealed, and delivered ground out. And instead, Sinatra's on second as that got away from Rose. And so let's see what Atlanta does here with Rick Camp. Tying run at the plate, top of the 8th, nobody out. And Ruffiano Linares will pinch hit. 308. 2 homers and 31 RBI. So Sinatra on second. Gruco de Linares. Ground ball to Trio over to Rose. This time it's an out, I swear. Sinatra moves to third. And there's 1 out and a runner on for Jerry Royster, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. So through 27 batters, Mike Gruco has not had a lot of support. 95 pitches, 7 1/3 innings. 4 hits, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. 2-0 game. But the Braves are knocking on the door. Gruco deals. Royster ground ball to Rose. They'll concede the run. Rose goes to the bag, and there's 2 out. So it's 2-1. And nobody on for Rafael Ramirez, who is 2 for 3. He has singled once and doubled. So at least we'll have some cardiac time here in the 9th. Unless the Phillies can put on a couple more. Gruco delivers. Right back to Mike. Over to Rose. And that will retire the side. So the error leads to an unearned run. Here comes Gene Garber. A run on no hits in the air. After 7.5, it's now Philadelphia 2, Atlanta 1. So Gene Garber, 42nd appearance. 8-6 the record, 9 saves, a 1.96 ERA. He last pitched last night. This is the 3rd night in a row he's thrown, but for Atlanta, it's pretty much win or golf. So Monday night, he went an inning and 2/3 and walked 5 in the loss. Last night, he went an inning, allowed a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. So in 64 innings, 60 hits, just 2 homers, 15 runs, 14 earned, 17 walks, and 29 strikeouts. I've noticed now that we're getting into the latter part of the season, that the AI is using the firemen as strictly closers, and there's just not enough situations to use them in. Not saying that's the difference, but just something to keep in mind. Maddox is 1 for 3. So Camp pitched well. 7 innings. He's going to possibly take the loss. Only gave up 8 hits. Garber deals. Maddox to Horner at third. Over to Chambliss for the first out. The 60s were a great era for third baseman. Brooks Robinson, Ken Boyer, Clete Boyer, Eddie Matthews, and Tug McGraw. Reed is the closer. Gruco, he's only at 97 pitches. I'm probably going to let him go. Vukovich is 1 for 2 with an RBI and a walk. Washington, Murphy, and Horner do up for Atlanta. Vukovich, little liner in the right. That's going to drop for a base hit. And I'll bring up to Jesus, who's still nursing a 9-game hitting streak. So 1 out. Garber deals. Ball 4. And so Garber, who was just throwing a lot of baseball, and that probably, well, what do you do? We take a look at the bench and see who hits righties well. Greg Gross. Right column run. Greg Gross. And Aguayo. And Dernier. No, Dernier has not hit righties well. It'll be Aguayo. who was at 311, a homer and 11 RBIs. Pitch-wise, Kruko was running well, but you want that insurance run. Now, if Aguayo runs into a double play, it's all for naught. But they're gambling to take him out in a one-run game. So Garber, from the stretch, delivers. Ground ball to second. Hubbard to Ramirez for one. Over, no throw. They get De Jesus at second and no throw. So Aguayo goes to first. And that'll bring up Rose, who was 3 for 4 with a double. So Aguayo on third. Aguayo on first. Vukovic on third. And here's Rose, who was 3 for 4. Single twice and doubled. Pitch to Pete. Number up the middle. Ramirez comes in to throw to Chambliss. Is in time. Ho, ho, ho. Rose throws the helmet, but is told, dude, you are out. And get your packed tushy into the dugout. After 8. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the top of the 9th. Philadelphia 2, Atlanta 1. And so they really didn't have... Ron Reed is gone. And so it's going to be... Stan Bonson, who did not have a save in real life. He has not pitched yet this year. He is a September call-up. 13 in the third innings, 8 hits. He's walked 3 and struck out 9. And he gets to see if he can get the side retired. He's been up there since June 1st, but the Phillies have not used him. So Bonson in to get the save. Washington, Murphy, and Horner. Claudel is 0 for 3. Bonson delivers. Ground ball to De Jesus. Comes in on the short stuff over to Rose for the out. So 1 out for Murphy, who's, remember, everybody's a tying run here in the 9th. Murph is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Bonson delivers. Struck him out. A full count. Curveball, strike 3. Swung on and missed. And so it's the last chance here for the Braves. Horner is 0 for 3. Looking for his 32nd homer. And so here we go. The pitch to Horner. Got him! Strike 3. He stood there like a barn on the side of the road. And the Phillies win the ball game 2-1. And so for whatever reason, this is really, really, really tiny. So I'll read it. Camp takes a loss. He goes to 8-6. 7 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 1 and struck out 3. Garber gave up a hit and a walk, but nobody scored. He had plus stuff. Kruko goes to 15-9, 8 innings, 4 hits, a run. It was unearned. Really wanted to leave him in for the complete game, but I also needed another run. The manager's decisions are tough. A walk and 5 strikeouts on 97 pitches, and Bonson strikes out 2 to get the save. So I don't know what's going on here. So here are the National League stats as we start September. Bill Buckner and Gary Carter tied for the batting lead. Joe Niekro has a 1.96 ERA. Too bad Houston's not playing for anything. Mike Schmidt will probably win the home run title. He's got 41. 106 RBI. Timmy Raines, 70 stolen bases and 107 runs. Fernando is 120. Rogers, 19. Roy, 17. Greg Minton with San Francisco, 27 saves. Soto has struck out 222. Ryan, 219. Ryan has walked 91. So there we go. So right now the margin's 5.5. So Thursday, California at Detroit. And at some point we'll release the Patreon project I'm doing tonight. So thank you so much for sticking around. I'm Ron Juckett. We will talk to you the next time.